Happy Monday, everyone, and happy National Pollinator Week. I am Martha with Nature Niche, and this week's topic is, of course, our native pollinator species. So who are they? They include our native bees, our butterflies and moths, beetles, wasps, certain birds and bat species, and other small mammals. These wildlife species feed on flower nectar or pollen, and they carry the plant pollen on their bodies in between plant parts inside the flower and in between plants across the landscape. So they play a very important role in helping move genetic material across our landscape and aiding plants in their reproduction. So why should we care about pollinators? Well, first, 1 in every 3 bites of our food is provided in some way by the services of pollinators. So about 1,200 crops across the world require pollinator assistance. About 75 to 95% of all flowering plant species need animal pollinators for their reproduction, and pollinators significantly contribute to ecosystem health, and they help provide sustainable food supplies. You want to put a dollar value on that? That's about $217 billion in our global economy. And really, they help us have healthy ecosystems with diverse plants, and that helps us clean our air, stabilize our soils, that protects us from severe weather, and it supports other wildlife. And thirdly, I want to talk to you about the plight of our pollinators. So populations are significantly declining. Terms are being used out there like insect apocalypse, and we're really hurtling down the path to extinction for a lot of these species, and it's threatening catastrophic collapse of nature's ecosystems. And this is per the first global scientific review of insect species. Greater than 40% of insect species are declining, and a third are endangered that we know of, and studies are still being conducted. This rate of extinction is 8 times faster than birds, mammals, and reptiles. So we really should try hard to do things to support our native pollinators in our landscapes, and there's plenty that we can do to help. First, we can create and improve pollinator habitat in our own yards, on our other properties, in our farm fields, our road and utility rights of way, our parks, and our corporate landscapes. So to do that, we need to select native plants that have diverse flowers, diverse flower size, shape, color, and bloom period. We really want to provide flowers in the landscape for our pollinators as early in spring as possible until as late in the fall as possible. And we need to pick out host plants for our butterflies and our moths, and nectar plants for those species as well. We need to think about how can we provide food, water, shelter, and space for these species to help them thrive. We can do things like leave leaf litter and dead plants, both trees and herbaceous plants, for our tunnel nesting and wood nesting insects. Leaving bare ground for our native ground nesting insects, providing puddling stations, other forms of clean water for them to access nutrients and minerals. Secondly, we can reduce or eliminate our use of pesticides. So it's really important to follow on herbicides and insecticides and fungicides. Follow the label closely. Take action to minimize drift, inadvertent drift of those chemicals across the landscape, and don't apply them to actively blooming plants if you can help it at all. And you can also make an effort to do your research and buy plants that are free of systemic insecticides. We can use integrated pest management across our landscapes, and we can make an effort to buy organic produce that we can get with fewer chemical inputs. And lastly, reach out and inform and inspire other people to care about native pollinators and take action as well. So a couple of things that we're doing here at Nature Niche all this week. I'm hosting a native plant sale with pollinators supporting native plants. And we're also hosting one more butterfly habitat workshop this Thursday, 5 to 6. We have a couple of spots left open. So if you can join us, it's free. We'd love to talk to you about how to establish butterfly habitat in your landscapes. And then I just want to mention some helpful resources if you want to learn more. MSU Extension has a Pollinator Primetime event going on. You sign up and they're doing 10-minute presentations each day this week at 8 p.m. and those are free. They also produce this great Bees of the Great Lakes region and wildflowers to support them little booklet. I have several butterfly books for sale here at the store that will help you learn more. The National Wildlife Federation, so nwf.org /native plant finder is a great resource to learn about what species to plant to support the highest number of our butterflies and moths. And then the Pollinator Partnership is the group behind National Pollinator Week. So check all those resources out, and let's take a quick look outside at the plants we have for sale. So these are all of our native plants. I've roughly organized the sales area into plants that do well in full sun, in part sun, part shade. Shade species including ferns and wet species. So if you've got that, problematic place where you're tired of trying to get lawn established and you want more vigorous vegetation, I have stuff for that area as well. And these plants will do fine in average soils. So pollen species, nectar species, larval host plants, I would love to talk to you about all of them. Come see us this week.